This episode of Sessler Something is brought to you by Audible. All right, everyone, here we are. We're mid-October, and you know we have consoles launching like mid-November. So there's on the press side, there's a sense of deep-seated anxiety about how we're going to handle sort of the flood of content, flood of information. This is kind of like right before a tsunami when all the water is pulled out off the shore and something big is coming. But it has gotten me reminiscing. I'm old. I get nostalgic in my head. I've lived through many console launches, and I was thinking back that the PlayStation 2. I was at Tech TV. It was with Kate Patello, and we were at the Sony store at the Metreon, which none of that really exists anymore. There was a sense of there were people on unicycles tossing flaming, juggling things. There was always sort of a sense of event and adventure. I still think probably the most dramatic and biggest one I ever attended was for the 360 launch, where a space shuttle hangar out in Palmdale, that would be the Trevor part of Los Santos, it was opened up for about 72 hours, and people came there and camped out. And they, just waiting to get their 360 at launch. It was always sort of an interesting sense of both community and baffling consumerism, all sort of blended into one. But the one thing which I can honestly say is you would see a lot of the executives for the various companies at these events, and you got the sense that there was something a little more than just business about it, that there had been a lot of work, a lot of attention, a lot of detail in this. And to finally sort of birth the baby, get it out there, you could see both the relief, the exhaustion, and almost a teary-eyed joy in some of those instances. I think they were always kind of important and instructive that we do look at an us versus them a lot when it comes to sort of the companies that make the games and we, the people who consume the games. But there still are people that work at these companies, and they've devoted sort of years of life and attention to putting these things together. Are they good? Do they always have the best policies? Probably no, but there is a human angle on it. But most importantly, I don't know of any launch events. I imagine something will happen in a Best Buy or something like that. So I think this sense that there isn't as much celebration or this sense of big parties and that confidence that comes from the companies who put them on. I think it partly has to do with a very cautious entry into the field. We just don't know what we're getting with these consoles. But moreover, that this has become a lot of a dicier marketplace. These are expensive consoles. It's very hard to make money on games, compared to how it was, sort of a decade ago. Things just don't feel as frivolous. There's a sense of danger. I think it's going to be very exciting. I think some people are going to do very well. It's just very unclear who's going to win. And this is quite different from 10 years ago, when really it felt like we were all just playing games. Let's take a moment to thank our sponsor, Audible. They have over 100,000 audiobooks and spoken word entertainment to be downloaded to your phone or MP3 player and play back anywhere, anytime. This week, in honor of the concept of things that were once grand that seem to be, less grand, I'm recommending Shakespeare's masterpiece, King Lear. In particular, the one with voice work by both Kenneth Branagh and Paul Scofield. You can go to audiblepodcast.com/something to get a free audiobook of your choice when you sign up today. All right, so one thing a lot of you have wanted me to talk about, and to be honest, I have not had much of a chance to play it, has been the challenges with the launch of Grand Theft Auto Online. Obviously, this was launched a couple of weeks after the launch of Grand Theft Auto 5. And I think that was probably a very good thing. It helped Rockstar kind of position the game as first and foremost that single-player experience. Obviously, a lot of people bought the game, and hence a lot of people tried to get on the servers all at once, and just that kind of real-world testing could not have been replicated, prior to that time because of just how many people got there. I'm not trying to be an apologist for Rockstar, but this is yet one of many instances where we've seen online games having some real challenges at launch. And this goes all the way back to the launch of EverQuest. I remember the game Dark Age of Camelot. It was an MMO. There was nothing all that remarkable about the game, but it was hailed and celebrated because it had probably one of the smoothest launches of its time, and that was so notable. There really is just chaos theory at play when it comes to online games, and I think that all efforts should be made to ensure that most people who have purchased the game can play it. But there is just kind of a hard reality that until it's out there in the wild, until you see what it's doing, that you really get the actual stress testing. What should be the level of expectation that a consumer has for an online game? And that's a tough one, especially if you're buying a game that is first and foremost online. It doesn't even have a way to play it offline. I think it's fair to have a lot of expectations. But I think that while we want to think, and we would continually ask of a developer and a publisher to give us a smooth launch, that there has to be kind of a realization that it's kind of a gamble, it's kind of a bargain, and you might not be having the fun that you want to have until 2-3 weeks or even a month down the line. A couple of things to look out for this week. Right now we have a new episode of Bringing Up Nick that is only on revision3.com/games, so check it out there. This one is Raiders of the Lost Ark. Yep, the kid hasn't seen Raiders. Also, if you haven't joined Anthony and I for our Thursday evening streams, you need to do so. It's a lot of fun. I have a lot of fun. He and I will play one game and continue to play the horror game Outlast. And if you want to see two grown men decay into kind of mewling little infants, then that's exactly what you're going to get when you tune in. That is 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern. You can see it both on our YouTube channel and also at twitch.tv/rev3games. It should be a lot of fun. Hope to see you there.